Good morning, warriors. Welcome to the wake. Let me just. By the way, like my fancy schmancy brand new microphone? I like it. Actually, you can hear me without hearing. Sabin! Much better than the last few weeks, right? So, right off the bat, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Haunted is one of a trilogy. Higher Universe is the production company that we're getting these from, and then from Edmonton, Alberta. Sorry, when I did the preview, I said Edmonton, Ontario. It's Canada. What do I know, right? Well, we'll know soon when they're our 51st state. Right? No Trumpies, no anti-Trumpies. Don't yell. It's a joke. All right. But and she came down this week tariff free. Again, another joke. All right, another joke. But she came down this weekend tariff free. Elizabeth Chamberlain, and she was fantastic in this. Right. So far, I think her best movie that we've had of her has been Grotesque, and I'm hoping we get Grotesque too, right? Because there's so many unanswered questions, right? And if we get that, trust me, you guys will thoroughly enjoy it because from what I've been reading about it, it looks great. I haven't seen it yet. I know. But, so, what were your feelings on this movie, right? I got to get comfortable because you know I talk with my hands. So, right off the bat, I'm not a first person or found film like movie kind of fan, right? Cloverfield, right? I actually went to when I was in California for my job, right? That I had 25 years ago, whatever, and I got to go to the premiere, right? It was the midnight premiere. It was on a Wednesday night, and it was in Burbank, not Burbank. Was it Burbank? I think it was in Burbank, the movie theater there, right? And we got to go in. It was really cool. Apparently, a couple people from the movie are there, right? And I got lucky because the people who worked at the hospital that I was working at, doing their IT work, right? They had tickets, so I went with two of them, right? Or three. It was four of us, right? And just the whole experience was great, right? And I thought it was kind of cool, right? But one, you never really saw the monster, and I hate the whole person thing because you're like, it's all discombobulated. I like a nice, even though I do like a good surprise ending. Anyway, all right. So and then the whole Blair Witch Project, right? So it's funny. The Blair Witch Project was done by people from Upper Darby High School. I have a relative that went to school with these people, and they were in the same era, right, of the people that did Mean Girls, right? Like Tina Fey wrote that movie. That's actually about real people, right? That real mean chicks that went to Upper Darby High School, right? Anyway, right. So, and I wasn't really into that either. I just like the whole first, you know, but I did really like I'm Haunted. Now I gave it a 3.5, right? Right. That's not a bad thing, right? Um, I just the whole first person thing, and it's just my movie preference, right? Now, as an impartial person looking at the movie, right, you go down with the cast. The cast, right, virtual unknowns, right, except for Miss Chamberlain, they were all really, really good, right? The girl that played her sister, and she's been in other higher universe productions, right? I believe she was in Ezra and Gore Girl. She was Soccer Mom. Um, but, you know, they're not famous yet, right? And they were all really good, right? And the neighbor at the end, right? That she played that perfectly, right? And she held on to that moan for probably like 10 minutes, right? Just walking through the apartment and all that. I loved it. I thought it was crazy. Oh, like my Mystery Science Theater coffee cup. Iced coffee today. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm chewing. Anyway, right? So, if I was going to rate this on Rotten Tomatoes, which I will later, look me up. A Rotten Tomatoes, like, not, I don't know what they call it. It's like I'm not just a normal reviewer. I'm like a middle tier reviewer, and I would probably give this like a 4, maybe 4.25, right? Just because of how it was put together. The cinematography was great. You know what I mean? And it was meant to be, when you're trying to make something like of less quality, you know what I mean? Because she's doing it on her phone and all that, right? And yet there is really good quality to it. That's when you can tell that they're not messing with the formula. Pop that up a little bit. Ooh, there we go. So I hope you guys enjoy as much as I did, right? And I kid around, right, about Miss Chamberlain, and, like, and how, Mad Darbarian has a real crush on her, which he does, right? But she's a hell of an actress, right? And and my, like, so far, all the ones that I've seen she's been in, she was an Ezra and Gore girl, Haunted, right? The best was when she was in Grotesque, and she's just like, oh my goodness, my back is killing me, and she's just like running around, dancing around as she's killing people. I love it. It was just like she was having pure joy, right, on, like, killing people, you know. So for I'm Haunted 2 and 3, which will be on in April and May, it'll be the last week of each month, I believe, what we're going to have them on, right? I'm going to be hosting them myself, right? And what's going to happen going forward is the doc is involved with so many projects on the Monster Channel, right? And he does I do the preview and the script, right? I watch the movies and all that. So we go to film, right? I sort of drive that end of it, right? And then the doc, he does all the editing, right? All the primary editing. The boss does some editing, right? And, like, last night with the whole trash can thing, right? As soon as I say garbage truck, I can see Doc right now going, right? But he added in the cat running across the screen and all that kind of stuff to make it even more insane, right? And that's what I enjoy about what we're doing, right? I can do. I'm a project manager for several jobs that I've had. I do all the prep work and that kind of stuff. That's what I enjoy. And the two of them, they've let me do. You do what you do best, right? And um, on the other end, with the doc doing the editing, right? Thank God, because you guys seen some of the videos I do, right? Right. My editing skills are lacking, right? I mean, it took me what, you know 12 years of doing the Mad Darbarian reviews, and almost a whole year of doing this before I actually went out and bought a semi decent microphone. Timu, right? And you know, it's great to have these two guys in our corner, right? So the doc is uber busy. So I'm going to be doing at least one movie a month going forward. Now for the next 2 months, like I said, I'm going to do Haunted 2 and 3, right? And I have an IM message going back and forth with Miss Chamberlain. And if you notice, she liked all her things. It's really cool when you get a star of a movie that's out there and liking and sharing some of your own content, right? Trying to get people to watch our show because she's on it, right? I'm going back and forth with Miss Chamberlain on an instant message, and she has agreed to do an interview. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to do, a 10-15 minute interview with the young lady, right? And then put half on 2 and then half on Haunted 3. All right, you guys think that'd be a good idea? I think it'd be a great idea, right? And then I'm going to be hosting X Night, the final, or the X Night Warp Terror, right? Written and directed by Jim Canatell. He's also in it, right? And I'm really looking forward to that because Jim is not only, he's an actor. He was in Slaughter Beach as the crazed Gorton fisherman. He was in, oh God, I forget. He was in, like, another movie that we had on, right? And he is friggin' hysterical. He's gonna make it someday, but he only not, like, wrote X Night, right? He wrote the story. He actually does a comic. He has his own comic company based off X Night. Now, when we get X Night on, right, I found out that one of the people in the movie actually live in the area where I live, right? So I try to get a contact with her. She probably thinks, who's this goofy ass guy, right? And then, so I wrote him. So he's agreed that we're going to do an interview with everybody from X Night. Then he has a half hour, um, like a sort of a test reel kind of thing that he did. Concept, that's what they were called. That we're also going to show. So we're going to show the X Night, um, the first one, right? The short, which is half hour. Then we're going to show X Night, the the full movie, the Warp movie, right? Then in between, we're going to show some of the interview. Then after the movie, we'll show some of the interview, right? So that I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys want to get a good laugh, right, and laugh about some of the horror stuff, right, watch because Jim Canatelli is freaking hysterical. You know, pardon me. So that's going to be doing that. I'll also be doing my AKA will be doing the Jackie Robinson story on the 15th, and I have an interview lined up with a gentleman named Phil Dixon, and we've been playing phone tag for the last month. I'm going to try to nail everything down this week, but um, he is uh, he's a Negro League historian, works with the Negro League Hall of Fame, which is in Kansas City, which actually got me started. Not him, but going down to that Hall of Fame got me started on um, all of this craziness that I've been doing for the last handful of years, right? And I hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be a more serious tone. Won't be goofy ass Darbarian, right? It'll be John Basong, Negro League historian, Darby Hilldale. So I hope you guys get a kick out of that. That'll be 8 o'clock on the 15th of April. Now, as we always do, right? We got a ton of things coming up, but I want to tell you some of the cool things that are going on that I'm going to be doing. So today, right? After I get done doing this, I'm going down to a place called Media, Pennsylvania, right? And I'm going to a thing called the Delco Horror Haven, right? And can you tell that all these letters are green? Like my glasses are green. That's why, like, you can see the background in it. Anyway, right? But I'm going down to their Gholastic Book Fair, right? And I'm going to get a bunch of interviews, a bunch of people I've met before, right? Um, I'm hoping Chris Blake is there, he writes a lot of science fiction and horror murdery mysteries. One was the Cape May Murders, really good book. I just happened to see it, right? And I'll be going down and doing that this afternoon, right? Look for some of my stuff. And if you guys are in the area, Delco Horror Haven is the premier place to go and see horror kind of cool stuff. On this past Thursday, when we were shooting our show, they had Professor Fallows again, and he's the cryptid guy. He was on our show a couple times, um, talking about like I think he did one on vampires and one on werewolves, something like that. But he does a class on cryptids, right, which is really cool. Um, and then we're in right film festival season, so we have the Media Film Festival coming up, which again is at a place called Media, Pennsylvania. It's in the outskirts of Philly somewhere. And then the Westchester Film Festival. Now it's Westchester, PA, not Westchester, New York. And we go in a bunch of those movies. And it's kind of a bummer because every time that we were shooting an episode this past year, pretty much, they've had their mini movie fest, right? And again, they had one this Thursday. So this Thursday, I could have been doing one of like 5 things: Firehouse, Scouts, right? The Media Film Festival, or no, the Westchester Film Festival, right? The Cryptids thing, or sit on my ass. What did I do? I went and shot our show instead of doing any of those 5 other things. But I'm looking forward to that. That runs the last weekend of March and the first weekend of April, and then right after that, no, that Media Film Festival's coming up. Then right after that, at the end of April, is the Westchester Film Festival. So, guys, you want to go to film festivals, right? That has a lot of things out there you'll never see before, and a lot of these films that show at these film festivals, especially the one we had with the Delco Horror Haven Invasion, right? They've lent us their stuff. So like Slaughter Beach, Porch Pirate, like a good 20, probably like 60% of the videos we had on our Shorty Fest, they were they were done by people that I've met at these film festivals, right? So guys, do me a favor, support your local film festival, support your local like Renaissance fairs. Like we have a PA Renaissance fair, and they actually do pop up Renaissance fairs weekends to get people into it. So they're gonna have one out in Chester County. They're gonna have one down at Fort Mifflin outside of Philadelphia. I am looking forward to that because Fort Mifflin is actually it's a fort right outside the airport, right on the Delaware River. And what that was a fort that they used up to World War One. Okay, it was built in like the early or like the mid 1700s, right? Key to the American Revolution, because as all the ships were coming up the Delaware, right? They could take them out from Fort Mifflin, right? And even funnier, again, the scout story, right? When I was a kid, we used to camp there, right? We would camp at Fort Mifflin, and we actually stayed in the museum, right? That's where we slept, right? And it was the coolest thing, right? Then they have guys there at so I'm going to go to the Renaissance Fair there. I think that's Memorial Day weekend, right? And just all these goofy, like it's so great that finally America has come out of their COVID coffin, right? And we're out doing stuff, you know. Like I am for first time in 5 years. I am busy every weekend, right? From this weekend, actually from 3 weekends ago, I'm involved in something every weekend until September right now, right? Between, you know, um, scout stuff, firehouse stuff, rugby stuff, because my boys are playing rugby and I'm involved with the team, right? Film fest. We got Delco Day coming up, right? If you guys are from Delaware County, it's a great day and it supports, every year when they have it, it supports a family that they earn money for. One was for one year, it was for this kid Vincent, and they're hooked up with this charity called Head Start. If you ever get a chance, look up their story. They do a lot of good work, right? And the whole Delco Live people are friggin' insane. I enjoy working with them. It's kind of funny that when they were like in their like when they first came out in the 30s, they were on every 2 weeks religiously, right? Now they're on maybe once every couple months because, right, they're they're involved with their lady friends. The one guy's got a family, and like I think one of them's graduating high school this year. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, right, they went from these freewheeling, cool, guys got some time to like having no time and being adults. And yes, I know you were adults before, but really, you guys were big kids. I know because I'm a big kid, and we had a lot of good time when I used to call in all the time. Now, so like I said, support all of your local nonprofit groups because you know they're volunteer. Like I do the fire company volunteer, right? I do scouts, I volunteer, right? When I go and I do all these interviews at these local things, I'm volunteering to do it. One, it helps us, right, on our show, but also helps like build up, people to know about these groups. Like when I did all the interviews at Delco Horror Haven's Invasion in, I think it was like September, October of last year, right? I posted all of them, right? And the most hits out of all the videos that I have between Facebook and TikTok and Rumble and X and Instagram and whatever else I'm on, right? I'm not on the blue light, blue butterfly, whatever. I'm not on that. And if it turns out that they're actually going to be a viable like app, I might join that, right? Like Threads on Facebook, right? I don't see. I mean, I hear it's competition for X, but when I look at it, basically it's just all the posts on Facebook to make it look like Twitter. But maybe someday I'll put. I don't know, right? But if you guys know a good app, right, that you are on and if I posted to it, I think it would help us get more out there. It'd be great. And I can say though, I'm really really happy that we have um, almost. I think it's like maybe 50 short of 2,500 followers on Instagram, right, for Cemetery Cinema. And they got to think, right? It wasn't that long ago, right? Well, we were at like 500, 600. Then we hit 1,000 in, I think like November, right? We hit 1,500 in December. We hit 2,000 in, I think, the middle of February, right? Now we're going to hit 2,500. That just goes to show that you guys really appreciate and enjoy all the nonsense that we present for you guys out there. All right, so let's talk what's coming up on Cemetery Cinema. Well, on Cemetery Cinema, we have, like I said, we have I'm Haunted, um, 2 and 3. Next week we have Fangs, right? And Fangs is also another independent movie. It's about a vampire, right? And it's pretty good, right? I enjoyed the goofiness in it, meaning that it was low budget, right? And to me, if they took that plot, right, and threw like $1 million at it, it would be a fantastic movie, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. So what do we got coming up? Oh my goodness. I usually have all this prepared sitting out there. There we go. All right. So in April, right? Now we just did our we just did our film shooting on Thursday night, right? And whenever I go over to the doc's house, I have a blast. He is one A+ class individual, right? And like he knows what he's doing, right? So in April, right, we have 4 movies. I'll be doing 2 solo, X Night and I'm Haunted. They'll be the last 2 ones on in the month. I think X Night is going to be on Good Friday of all things. Oh God, I'm gonna thank God I'm an Odinist because if I was Catholic, I'd be sent right to hell. But we're gonna have this movie Spider Baby with Lon Chaney. Okay, now you guys will enjoy it because the movie. I think is a really bad movie. The doc loves it, right? And I can't wait till you guys see it because it was the first movie that we've watched that we had completely opposite views of it, right? And Spider Baby, this wasn't happening for me, right? And it's got Lon Chaney Jr. in it, right? And he was really good because he was basically playing, um, like he's basically playing like Lenny from of Mice and Men, which he also did. And if you ever want to watch a really really good movie with Lon Chaney Jr. in it, hold on, look up of Mice and Men from I think it was like 51 or 52, right? Lon Chaney Jr. as Lenny, right? Sort of like there's the two guys. One is like a con artist kind of guy who took Lenny under his wing, because Lenny was a little touched, right? And Lenny is sort of like the big dumb ox that doesn't understand things, right? And it's a great movie, right? Great book by John Steinbeck. If you ever went to high school, you had to read it, right? Especially if you went to a Catholic high school, we had to read it sophomore year, right? Again, great movie. He's in it. Watch it. Well, anyway, Spider Baby was not one of his best movies. you know. And then we're gonna have Dead Girls. Now, Dead Girls, right? And sort of we play it up over 2 episodes, right? Because Dead Girls is a movie about this girls rock and roll band from like the 80s and another beautiful Strawberry Blonde in this one, right? She's really good and she's in a ton of TV series. She was just in Watson. So it's this new TV show where they have this black fella. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's playing Watson from Sherlock Holmes, right? But it's in the modern era, and it's not the best. My wife likes it. Not the best show that I can say. Well, she was on an episode of that recently, so she was in Dead Girls from 1990, right? And then she was in it. She's still a good-looking young lady. All right, now again, like I say, we're gonna have X Night, Escape from Warp Hell. I'm Haunted too, with my favorite actress, Elizabeth Chamberlain. And then in May, right? And you're going to love these because all of them are hysterical, right? We have Axe, right? Now, Axe, again, it's an axe murder movie, right? And the doc and I did some really funny bits for that, right? We have Creature of Destruction coming out. Now, Creature of Destruction, it's another movie that was a remake, right? And it totally had nothing to do with I mean, it was a remake in the fact that they had people in it and there was people in the other movie. That was it. Movie is so bad. You guys, we had a blast doing that one, right? Then we have I'm Haunted 3, which I'll be hosting with Elizabeth Chamberlain in it. Curse of Bigfoot. All right. I never saw a Bigfoot movie that didn't have Bigfoot in it. All right. We put our own Bigfoot in it, right? And if I could find it, oh, where is it? I can't find it. But we had our own version of Big. Oh, can you see? Once I move the green screen, everything becomes visible. All right. And we have our own. We brought our own Bigfoot in, right? And you guys will get a kick out of that. And then Chilling. I just saw it the other night. What a really good movie. I was watching it. I'm like, God, these guys are taking this too serious. But that was the whole gist of the movie. They were taking it in a serious way and spoofing like different horror movies, and I loved it. It's got like it has the guy that played Grizzly Adams in it, right? And Linda Blair, right, from The Exorcist. You guys will love it. Okay, and then we have our June movies coming up, right? And the way it's going to work in the summer is because in August, I think we have football every Friday night. Delco football every Friday night. So what they're going to do instead of having us on every Friday, we're just going to get bumped a couple weeks. And that'll be fun because it'll give it the Doc and I some time to reset and get our stuff together for our fall when we start really kicking it. And then we're going to also have our Shorty Fest again this year on Black Friday, right? So if anybody out there has any shorts, let us know and we'll put it on our show. Well, but in June we're going to have the Legend of Crickfoot. Now, what's going to happen is on May 17th we're going to be at this thing called Bones Bazaar, right? Which is it's a Comic Con, right? A local Comic Con, a place called Quakertown, Pennsylvania, which is like 50 miles from Philly, 50 miles from New York, right? And it's kind of like it did at the Quakertown Farmers Market, which is a great farmers market. Guys, do yourself a favor, right? Like, don't bring the credit card, but bring a lot of cash because you bring the credit card, the wife will know what you bought, right? We got four movies, right? Crickfoot, right? Which is again, we're going to be doing our appearance with the guy who made that movie, right? I have a lot of interviews that I did when I saw the premiere of Crickfoot, right? And then we'll do some interviews while we're there, right? Schizoid, which again, a crazed. This guy's a crazed scissor killer instead of an axe murderer. Reap, I haven't heard anything about that yet. I'll be watching that in the next couple weeks. And Trintas, Trintas. I don't know what that's about. From what I understand, it's a schizophrenic kind of thing. And then the doc put out, or the boss put out our movies for, oh my goodness, um, for the summer, and I got to find them for you. But and there we have, so it's going to be four movies for June or for July and August, right? Which will be two in July, two in August, right? So we're looking forward to that. And to be honest with you, right? You know, not that I'm looking for a break from doing this, right? Because I'm not, right? But it's summertime, and in the summertime for me, right, is we do a lot of scouting stuff. Like we go camp for a week, right? And I do a lot of like outside stuff, right? Which takes me away from sitting in the house watching these movies, right? Or sitting in the dungeon watching these movies, you know. But so we got all that going on, right? And I really hope that you guys enjoy what we're doing. We're going to be hitting our 50th episode. I think that's going to air on May 3rd, right? And I don't know which one they're going to throw on there. I'm kind of hoping that they don't throw I'm Haunted on, right? Because I want them to be the last one of every month to give me some breathing room to try to get a lot of this stuff done. Um, yeah. So I've rambled on with you guys for what 28 minutes. Or holy jeez, I can talk, can I? Right. So I hope you guys, like I said, enjoy our product. If you guys want to send us a video, right, congratulate us on our 1 year anniversary, which will be coming up on Friday the 13th, June, right, which is great. That's perfect for us. Our first anniversary on June 13th, right? So do me a favor, just send a video clip, right, an MP3, right, or whatever, right, or an MP4, excuse me, or an AVI, or whatever your camera does, right, and send it to us just congratulating us for our first anniversary if you want, right? And if you want to do like a thing like watch WON, right, with Cemetery Cinema, please do that. And we will show it because we're all about content, you know? So, all right, guys, thank you very much. It's the Mad Darbarian for Cemetery Cinema, WONTV 48, Brooklyn. See ya. I'll see you at the Delco Horror Haven Ghoulistic Book Fair in about an hour and 15 minutes, right? I will be popping by Pinocchio's for a pop beforehand if you want to, come by and meet me. Because, I know that's all you guys want to do is see the man, the myth, the legend. Me. I'm out. Love you guys. Thanks.